Hey yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to another Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile video. Today I've got a treat for you guys in the form of my Speedroid deck. This is genuinely like my second or third favorite deck of all time. It is very skill intensive. It takes a lot of math to do this, as every single time you summon red-eyed dice, it's like you're having to do an algebra equation. It takes a lot of math to play this deck. I will just throw that right out there. Anyways, real quick, I would like to mention that I made this list about a year ago, but even looking at more recent releases, I wouldn't really change much. Like, you could do the Excel Synchro Stardust Dragon, but, like, it's not really needed. Your deck doesn't struggle to make high-level synchros. I mean, it's neat to special summon back Red-Eyed Dice, but, again, it's not needed, and you have other things at high level that are pretty important to make. I don't know. It's like, you can do it, and I know what I would cut if I were to do it, but at the same time, I think just having the options for that extra interruption is just really nice. I don't know. Another thing I would consider is maybe Cashier Unicorn plus Cashier Birth. The issue with that is that Cashier Unicorn is semi-limited. Who would have thought that that would have hurt Speedroids? Interesting. Yeah, if it was at 3, I would say, yeah, for sure, but, like, with it at 2 and Cashier Birth being a hard brick if you don't have Unicorn, I don't know, it's a little awkward. But yeah, that's all the things that really stood out to me. So other than that, let's get straight into the deck profile. Starting off the main deck, of course, we've got 2 Speedroid Red-Eye Dice. This card has the effect that whenever it is summoned, you can target another Speedroid monster you control, modulate its level between the levels of 1 and 6. That is the reason this deck ends up taking so much math. Generally, a lot of the time, you're going to be special summoning, like, another monster, like, you'll have, like, 2 monsters on the board. You're going to be summoning, like, Red-Eye Dice. Modulate the level of, like, one of them, and then use this plus the other monster to sync into something else, and just keep that monster on board for, like, another, like, 5 summons until you summon something else that wants to use it. Like, there's a lot of times that happens, and it gets kind of crazy whenever you're holding a monster on the board from, like, the start of your turn until the end of your turn. Like, whenever you're, like, 5 synchros deep and you're just like, yeah, I still yet to use this other monster, but trust me, I do know what I'm going to use it for later. I don't know, it's really difficult playing this deck because of this card, but it is the bread and butter of your whole deck. Its effect isn't once per turn. You need to run 2 for the, Speedroid wheel, as rolling a 2, you don't really care to summon a Marble Machine. Speaking of Marble Machine, that's normal summon of the deck. It has the effect that whenever this card is normal summon, you get to add a Speedroid monster from your deck to your hand, which is a really good effect. Unfortunately, though, it is a pendulum monster, so you can't realistically, like, sync this plus red-eyed dice into a cork shooter. That's not really something you can do, which is kind of sad. I mean, I guess you can do it and get wheel, but at that point you have to roll like a 3 or higher for it to be worth it. So, I don't know. You're always going to rubber band shooter with that plus dice, if that's all you have on board. Anyways, the best search for Marble Machine is Speedroid Take Tomborg. This card has the effect that if you control a wind monster, you get to special summon this card from your hand, and you contribute this card to special summon a Speedroid Tuner straight from your deck. This is really nice for summoning out Red-Eyed Dice to modulate the level of something, or you can search for Den Den Daiko Duke, who has a good graveyard effect of being able to banish itself and Monster Reborn one of your Speedroid monsters, which is really nice. Either one works as good targets for that. You can only special summon it, Take Tomborg, once per turn. Do keep that in mind. So even if you try summoning him off of a completely different effect, you won't be able to summon him again. Do keep that in mind. Next up, Speedroid Car Turbo. It's another good search off of Marble Machine. It's a level 3 tuner that summons itself if you control a wind. It also has a really strong graveyard effect of being able to banish itself to power up each of your wind monsters by 800 attack. This is deceptively strong. It can make so many things beat over so many things that they wouldn't normally be able to. Of course, that is what happens with a near 1,000 attack point boost, so it's really good. Really, really good. For your, like, 6 monsters, that's plus 4k attack. Like, that can make or break game for you. Like, that is genuinely really high. It is deceptively strong. Last good search is Rubber Band Plane. If you special summon a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if it leaves the field, you can neg something 600 attack points. This plus the card turbo means you're getting a 1400 point advantage over a monster of your choice, which is really good. The other good normal summon of the deck is Ultra Hound. Whenever this card is normal summon, you can send a Speedroid card from your deck to the graveyard. It's a graveyard effect that I think I've used either once or 0 times ever in so long of playing this deck. It can banish itself to target a Speedroid in your graveyard, shuffle itself into the deck, and then you could special summon a Speedroid monster, same level, different name. The only feasible target is using this with double yo-yo to summon Speedroid Puzzle. It's one of the, like, 2 reasons I'm playing Puzzle in the extra deck. I mean, level 4 can come up, that's the other reason, but, like, come on, man. Bro, you're never summoning Hagovita with this, as this can't be used to turn it sent to the graveyard, and Hagovita is so good you're always summoning it turn 1. Same with Cork Shooter, you're always summoning that turn 1 as well, so it's just like, why? Why is this effect here? I don't know. It's like it wants to make it sound better than it is, but it, like, it's literally, this is where the first effect ends. That GY you see right there, everything after that is the second effect. The second effect I've used once ever. Like, this could have been like a 10-word card. Why did they have to cram the rest of that on there? A 10-word card, and I still use it. Think about that. Anyways, best send with it is Speedroid Duplicate. It's the effect that you can neg a Speedroid monster you control by 1 level to special summon this card from the graveyard. It's a level 1 tuner, but you're not really going to make Cork Shooter. I mean, you can, and you can search out your Speedroid wheel. If you roll a 2 or above, I guess that's worth it. But generally, you're probably going to be making a Rubber Band Shooter from here, and just doing things from that. But Speedroid Wheel is a pretty good one, because it can give you access to Red-Eye Dice, which is, again, the bread and butter of your deck. The other good send is Den Den Daiko Duke, which once again, you can banish it from the graveyard in order to be a monster reborn for Speedroids. The other 2 good Speedroids, Ceratop, on summon, you get to search your deck for a Speedroid, and it can summon itself if you control no monsters. Used for the combo, also just a good card on its own. Speedroid Double Yo-Yo, just used for the combo. It has the effect that on normal summon, you can target a level 3 or lower Speedroid in your graveyard, special summon it. Yeah, it's just used for the combo. But, anyways. Next up for the generic stuff, Wind the Wind Channeler. You can discard this and another wind monster in order to search your deck for any of our wind monsters and add it to your hand. I know it has a limitation on that, but all of our monsters meet the requirement, so it's whatever. Next up, Triple E Tellu with Pelica, Descendant of Gusto. I discovered this like forever and a half ago, and then like half a year later I saw somebody else play it, and I was just like, bro, I literally watched like 20 different videos. How the heck did you do this? And you're just like, oh, don't you know, I've always been playing this. And I'm just like, I hate you. Jump off a bridge. Like, bro, whenever you feel like you discovered something on your own and then randomly half a year later somebody else is just like, yeah, dude, no, I started playing this deck like a month ago. I just found this and it was really cool. And I was just like, no, shut the fuck up. Stop. Don't, no. Bad. Anyways, this card has the effect that on summon, you get to special summon a wind tuner from your graveyard, but negate its effects. It's the only reason that Puzzle really comes up is for summoning back Red-Eye Dice and then using this plus Red-Eye Dice to make it. Other than that, I don't think I would ever make Puzzle, but yeah. Next card, Speedroid Wheel. Roll at least a 2, forehead. I don't understand the question. I mean, if you don't, it's an E-Telly for Red-Eye Dice, which is still really good, but yeah. Small World. We have Pelica, which is a psychic, Wind the Wind Channeler, which is a spellcaster, and all of our Speedroids are machines, and everything happens to be wind. This is really good in this deck. It is search for literally anything. For the one-ofs, 1-for-1, Harpy's Feather Duster for the back row decks, and lastly, your protection. Always wear your condom. Anyways, Imperm and Ash. They're the two things that hit Rubber Band Shooter the hardest. I mean, I guess Effect Veiler does too, but a lot of people don't play that card. You can feel free to run one in your sideboard, though. If you want to run two of these to make sure they're always in deck for crossout, because if you're summoning Rubber Band Shooter, if they negate that, you're in an extremely bad position because Rubber Band Shooter doesn't have a level. You would have just gotten rid of two monsters with a level for a monster without a level. That puts you in such a terrible spot. It's actually horrible. But yeah, the cards that I would cut, maybe like a Small World, a Pelica, or you can move Harpy's Feather Duster into your sideboard in order to run two of these. Or you could do that to run the Kashtira stuff like I mentioned before. Really up to you. But yeah. Anyways, on to the extra deck. Moving on. Rubber Band Shooter. This card's insane. It is crack. You get an additional normal summon of a wind monster. Plus, it has the really nice effect of you can banish a wind synchro from your extra deck. Search for 2 Speedroid monsters whose levels equal that in total. And your opponent randomly chooses one to add to your hand. The other one gets sent to the graveyard. You're always going to be doing this, searching for Double Yo-Yo and Terratop. I mean, I guess there's instances that you already have one of those two, so you don't need to do both. So I guess you could do a different level. 8 is feasible in here. But, yeah, you're a lot of the time going to be doing that, and you're hoping that you obtain the Double Yo-Yo. Use your additional normal summon on that. Special summon back the Terratop triggers, searching for a Speedroid. If that's not what you're given, you can still normal summon the Terratop searches and stuff like that. You're just missing out on one additional body, which is kind of important in a Synchro deck, but yeah. Next up, you got Cork Shooter. It has the effect that on Synchro Summon, so it doesn't even trigger off of Ultra Hound. Not to mention Ultra Hound actually negates the effects of the monster it summons. Let's just not ignore that. But it has the effect that you can add a Speedroid spell trap from your deck to your hand, or if all the materials that you use for the summon happen to still be in the graveyard, so DD Crow would stop this, you can special summon those materials back, which does re-trigger Red Eye Dice, as this doesn't negate them. This is literally just a 1-card Crystal Wing. If you can summon this card, you can summon Crystal Wing, so that's always cool. And then Speedroid Puzzle. It's a level 4. It doubles its attack. It doubles its current attack, actually. So if you use the graveyard effect of Car Turbo first, this actually reaches 4,200, which is pretty big, actually. But yeah, a lot of the time you're not really summoning him unless if you really need to Synchro Climb with a level 4. Yeah, it's not great. Speedroid Hagoita. This card is fantastic. It has the on-field effect that during either player's turn, which is the old term for a quick effect, you can tribute this card and increase the level of all monsters currently on the field by 1 until the end of the turn. This can really mess up Exceed or Synchro decks, and it also has the graveyard effect that if you control a Speedroid Tuner, you can special summon this card back from the graveyard. These are both really good effects. Like, this is insane. People used to play a trap card called, what's it called? Mischief of the Gnomes, that would increase the level of all monsters on the field by 1. That card genuinely saw play, like, oh god, it wasn't even like too many years ago. It was maybe like 3 years ago, because Mischief of the Gnomes has seen play since I started doing tournaments, so yeah, this is actually a really good effect. It is genuinely really good. It can stop Exceed decks. I don't remember if it works against Kashtira, because I believe one of their Exceed monsters can be used just by some... No, never mind. It does work against Kashtira. Never mind. Arise Heart needs to see that Shangri-Ira has been summoned, and it can't be summoned if you use this, so it works against Cash. Never mind. I was about to say something real stupid. Anyways, for your level 6, because all levels are important, we are going to be doing Raptite. It's a quick effect DD Crow. It's the best level 6. Anyways, for your 2 level 7s, Crystal Wing, Clear Wing, and Wind Pegasus. I know I said 2 and then showed 3. These 2 need to be summoned off of Clear Wing Rider. It's a really good summon off of that. And Wind Pegasus at Ignister, because it's also a really good card. If your opponent forces you to pitch anything out of your extra deck, I've been forced to do that on a handful of occasions, dump Wind Pegasus at Ignister. I do say it on a handful because I don't think Dogmaticos are really seeing play anymore. So it's not going to happen these days, but it can at like a locals or something. Other than that, if you have to use one of these for the combo, I guess you're just not summoning Clear Wing Rider, and it's as simple as that. For your level 8s, we're going to be doing the 2 Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. They're each a monster in a gate, so that's cool. You can summon both of these. Kite Drake as well. It has the effect that on summon you can either negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls, or destroy all of the cards on the field. This is insane. Going second, this forces a negate, and nobody expects it. It's really good. It's very, very good. For your level 9s, Stellar Wind, Wolfrite, and Shen. Wolfrite, it can come up. This card reads as crack on paper, but then you think more about things. Like, I always think that I myself am going to be triggering effects enough times to be able to get Wolfrite up to its thing, but then you realize you just don't do that after you summon a high-level Synchro like that. I mean, you can, but generally it sets you pretty far back if you're doing this as an early play, so it's really only useful if you think you can trigger it enough times, or if your opponent's deck really requires the effect activations, and if your opponent's deck really requires the effect activations and they can't out this without doing a bunch of effects, then sure, you can summon this, but and then Shen is just a Macrocosmos. For the level 10, Baronne de Fleur for obvious reasons, and High Speedroid Clear Wing Rider. This card's really good. It's really good. Yeah, no, it can pop cards on the field up to whatever you roll on a dice. It can just quick effect tag out into the 2 Speedroid. Sorry, not the 2 Speedroid, into the 2 Clear Wing monsters. It's really good. It's a genuine great piece of end board for either going first or going second. It does both really well. So I do commend this card for being a genuinely good support card to come out of the Legendary Duelist set. Anyways, that's about it for my Speedroid deck list. If you all enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I hope to see you all later. Bye.